This is how I would rate the current big gacha games in terms of difficulty.
What? You think NTE is easier than Genshin? Come on. What? I quit videos. You see it in every community about every game ever, all right? It's just not unique to the gacha space, and more specifically, specific games within the gacha space. There's a video I really want to watch with you guys, which is how the I quit Genshin Impact basically became a trend. It's quite the fascinating phenomenon, and I think I see more and more I quit Genshin Impact popping out on my feed, and they really take off because I feel like that's a sentiment, and people are really torn within the Genshin community where they really feel like the tolerance level has reached critical mass. I'm tired. I just want to quit. And when you see other people sharing the same sentiment and actually going through the thing that, let's just say maybe sunk cost fallacy or an ability to find different games, different avenues to have fun other than Genshin Impact, etc. But typically it stems from sunk cost fallacy, to be completely honest. And also, I feel like another dimension, because this is the online sphere, a lot of the people actually belong to the community. There's a sense of kinship towards the community, which can make tearing oneself away from that can be very difficult, as those are very important aspects of our lives that make us, well, us, because we want to be social, and for the most part it's very hard to be social publicly, especially if you're an anime fan. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But also beyond that, now with the avenue of social media, it has become even more challenging to socialize than ever before. So with these in mind, it becomes very hard for people to just want to quit a game. And I've seen that in Genshin Impact a lot, considering also how popular Genshin Impact is, how easy of a game it is to play, and how big of a community it is. Well, people may say it's a negative community, but I grown to actually really appreciate the Genshin community the more time went on, because, well, when you really sit down and think about it, the maturity and the growth that the Genshin community has shown is quite impressive, to say the least, because they used to be known as the Genshin dumbfucks, but there is still this vocal minority that is hostile. And the fact is, people that were virtue and trying to grandstand on that eventually became part of the problem of the very same dumb fuck type of attitude that the people they were complaining about. It's quite, like I said, the Genshin community all in all managed to revive itself and really farm some aura recently that I, for one, shouts out to you guys. You get one from me. Doesn't mean the game is better off though. Talking about the community, of course, doesn't mean the game's better off though. Why would people consider quitting if the game was any good? Or more specifically, the dev practices are any good? To be very specific, the game is fine. Like, you can recommend it to people, especially now when you have all regions. Holy, if I was a day one player, I'm eating good, especially if I haven't tried the other games where I'm still mechanically new to the gacha game. Oh man, I wish I could erase my experience with Genshin Impact and replay it again. That would be very nice, but tough. They should really add the replayability, but that's a topic for another time. Let's go into the topic at hand. We have a video of probably the first ever I'm quitting NTE video in the space. There it is. We already have our first one. I don't think I've seen one before. This was recommended to me. It's from trueeevil, our man trueeevil. He's already dropping us, man. Oh man, that is not good news. That is not good news. We have lost a soldier, ladies and gentlemen. We have. Now, looking at the dislike ratio, I'm gonna assume that the reasons what he's giving is something a lot of people cannot relate to. But however, I would strongly invite us to understand that people's perspectives and how their tastes can differ from ours. And maybe some of the reasons may not be a big deal to us, but they may be a big deal to them. This is very important to keep in mind. And so without further ado, let's end there, bro, yours truly, and get on the topic. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to not miss any updates.
Guess I better go subscribe to VxV Gacha.
trueeevil, you got the floor, my man. And goddamn, bro, she ain't looking fancy.
Let's start this video off with some positive energy. Hello. Now, let's move on to the negative energy.
That's all we get? Man, you ain't getting no pussy, don't you? Man, bro ain't getting no action. He just self-reported. That's it. That's as cold as it gets. Oh man, I could feel vaginas drying up. Jesus. Like, I think The stocks of dried vagina have just went up with this intro. God damn.
I am so done with Neverness to Everness, and honestly, I should have quit a few weeks ago, but somehow I convinced myself the game was worth sticking with for whatever reason, and I ended up playing much more than I thought I would, but at this point, I can't keep pretending that Neverness to Everness is a good game, so I just had to make this video explaining why I am so done with it.
Okay.
The first reason why I'm quitting Neverness to Everness is that, well, the combat is just way too easy. I could go on a giant rant about this, but the most important thing you need to know about combat is what makes combat in action games engaging and, well, fun, which I will show with this chart, which demonstrates how to get into a flow state. Basically, if the difficulty is way too high and the player has a low skill ceiling, like being only platinum rank in League of Legends or diamond rank in Fortnite, then they will get a lot of anxiety and end up quitting.
It's not anxiety, it's more so people get very tilted and frustrated towards the fact that they're putting all this time and energy and they still can't beat it. And when you can't beat something, it starts to transform into, instead of enjoyment, you get tilt. And that's not a positive experience. So some people resonate with that. I mean, hey, look, tilt works for some people that are very competitive, but I think for considering the fact that these are supposed to be casual games, I mean, just look at Hanyo. Like, you look at this doesn't scream competitive to you, does it? These obviously are supposed to be casual, fun games. You typically are not gonna find people that enjoy the tilting aspect of it. We're not that competitive. Like, this still obvious. We're guys. I mean, especially for the guys. Guys know exactly what I'm talking about. We're still guys. We still like some degree of competition. It's important to us. But we are adults where we understand that ultimately I don't want to be that competitive in a video game. You know, because I have other things to do with my time, like going to the gym and going to my job and get bitches.
On the flip side of that though, if the difficulty is way too low while the player is skilled, then that gamer is going to get bored. To achieve combat that is fun and engaging, that difficulty needs to be scaled in such a way so everyone can get into
true,
that
100%. I'm with
flow
you there.
state.
Just before this video, I lied to you, I'm not. I was doing the Matrix thing in Withering Waves. It is a little challenging for me, considering my skill level in Withering Waves. It is slightly challenging for me. Now, I don't understand Denia too much. I think I'm starting to understand Luke. I think I got him, but Denia is still a little bit challenging. I still do what my classic, like I see something shine, I click it. I think I'm doing what Denia is supposed to do. I do both ults, right? Like, so I ult, I transform, but after I fill up bar, because it has a, Q on it. So like, so I think it's important to fill up the bar before you ult. So you ult, and I do the E stuff, right? I do the purple E. And as soon as I get the ult, I ult out echo maybe, or maybe I do the echo before sometimes. I'm still trying to figure out when I'm supposed to time the echo, and I switch out. And I do my Luke stuff. I don't know if that's enough, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm doing the Luke team with Denia, and I'm not having much success with the content. I'm supposed to reach 5,000 points. I can't seem to reach 5,000 points. And I could feel a little bit of frustration stemming from that, because the other teams are doing it just fine, but this one is not. And I'm like, man, goddamn, bro, what the hell? All this time and effort in understanding this team, but I still can't seem to get it. Or maybe it's power crept or something, but I don't think so. I think obviously I'm the problem. You know what I did? I was like, finish up the rest of the teams, which I did. I got 5,000 points, so therefore I could manage to claim. There was I'm supposed to do 4, so like that's for 50 asteroids. I decided to just not do it. Again, just like the rest of the content. The reason why is simple: to avoid this very tilting sentiment I had. Through this mental states, I managed to take away a negative and transform it into a positive. I didn't allow it to get in the way of the positive experience, which is the Matrix. Because I think it's a fun game mode, but I didn't allow some of the, let's just say, enticing aspects to create tilt for me due to my lack of skill, if that makes any sense. Usually, the way you approach things will play a massive part on how much you enjoy said things, on whether or not you enjoy it, actually. It's very important.
Reality is that Neverness to Everness has the lowest difficulty I have ever seen from a game like this.
Are you sure about that?
Which means no matter what, I'm pretty much always going to be bored with the combat. This is how I would rate the current big gacha games in terms of difficulty.
What? You think NTE is easier than Genshin? Come on. God. What? No, bro, I think it's because you come from Withering Waves that you understand intro and outro, a lot more of the synergies and some of the mechanics of the game here. But no, dude, what? Maybe Genshin got complicated now. But back in the day, in 1.0, and don't forget NTE, and even Withering Waves, in 1.0, they were very easy. I mean, the first character we had for Crown of Light was Gian. Like, that's the most brain-dead character we've ever seen. And he's still good, by the way. Surprising. Dude, Gian is peak Withering Waves character. It's not even funny. I think this is very, very lacking in terms of information. Because in 1.0, because don't forget, NTE is still in its inception. It's still easing us into some of the mechanics, and they are proving to be very creative. I would not be shocked to see them really cooking up in terms of the combat. So no, for me personally, this doesn't necessarily click. Now, whatever, for the time being, it might be accurate because Genshin is at 7.0, ZZ is at 3.0, and Wuwa is at 3.5. They had enough time to polish the combat a lot than NTE, because NTE is still an infant. So NTE's combat right now might feel less let's just say maybe complicated than the rest of them in terms of difficulty, but you do have to keep in mind that it is a new game. They still have to cook up for the combat like the others did, because if I'm to go back to 1.0, Genshin was mega easy. Nothing beats easier more than Genshin. Wuwo was also simple enough, especially if you were coming from Genshin Impact, which a lot of us were. And the same applies to NTE. NTE seems a lot simpler because we are coming from Withering Waves. Because here's the thing, Wuwa is the peak level of difficulty in terms of combat in all of these games. So coming from Wuwa to NTE definitely feels, NTE feels so much simpler. And this is something, for example, a player like myself really appreciates, because Wuwa can be sometimes complicated for me. NTE seems a little more simpler, and it also has the elemental mechanics, something I appreciated in Genshin Impact. I'm glad to see it make a return with some Wuwa aspects. I'm in candy heaven in NTE in terms of combat and in terms of building teams, etc. They just need to expand more on that because we're tired of the anima and the Lakshana, Cosmos. It's time to look at Psyche, Chaos, and Incantation. It's about time. And I think they're doing that with the new character. If you guys have missed it, there's a new, the boss with 1.0, the big booba character, the waifu, the best waifu in the game. She's coming 1.3. So we already have that going on. And that character might step up the combat, might step up how you play the game. So we will see, man. We will see. For now, the game is still in its inception. We have to wait and let them cook more before we can definitely say this is the way it is going to be. But you don't have to wait, though. You don't have to sit here and keep doing something you do not enjoy as you wait. But what I'm trying to paint here is obviously we have to be fair in how we paint the game in comparison to the others. I think it's very important. Certain details are incredibly important when we talk in a broader sense.
And the problem with having the combat being boring is that it just feels like a chore doing the new 1.2 quest. I wasn't getting damaged. I was just unengaged watching videos of cats on Instagram while doing the mini boss fights. And it was
But typically stories are very easy. I think this applies to Withering Waves as well. Bro, in Wuwa, they're so basic. I like this about Withering Waves. They give you the story characters. Like, you typically play with the rover and the character they're advertising. Let's call it for what it is. For example, the Cyberpunk collab. In the Cyberpunk collab story, you play as Lucy and Rover, right? And sometimes you'll have Rebecca there too, depending on where they put you in the story. Sometimes you would play with Rebecca and Lene. But those are like special combats that are very, very easy. They're very, very easy. The same applies to all of them. The fact of those battles is just to give you some form of interaction with the story. It's what all video games do that have a story that are combat driven. That's it. I don't know why this is like complaining how video games do things. Yeah, certain video games hold boss fights behind the story, but considering the way these gacha games are created and made, the story is supposed to be this casual experience, whilst the post-game content is where the difficulty lies if you want to have more out of the game. But all in all, the stories are very, very easy in these games. That's just a fact. It's just a formula that's been applied. And I, for one, think, personally, considering that some players may want to vanish and just come back from time to time playing these games just for the story, it's a good approach. You don't feel penalized for not playing every day, etc., making you have a, let's just say, negative experience to doing the story. I think this happened once in Honkai Star Rail, but correct me if I'm wrong. Adventurine or something like that. I can't remember. Basically, there was a boss that if you're a new player, it is incredibly difficult to beat. He is insanely difficult to beat, and a lot of players complain about that, and I think they have fixed that since. That is a problem. That is a huge problem when you consider the type of gamers and the type of approach these games have towards said gamers. So yeah,
just uninspiring, unappealing, and just, well, plain undercooked. It literally felt like I was playing Dynasty Warriors with the
I haven't done the story, so I can't necessarily speak on it, but one criticism NTE is still suffering from is definitely the storytelling and the story, really. It's still, it hasn't hit yet. And also, let's call it a spade a spade. 1.2 is supposed to be filler. They even said so themselves. You gotta wait for 1.3. That's it. Like, they gave you the waifu bait. They gave you the best support. They gave you a new event, the mini game, the RPG game. They gave you all this stuff to do. But in terms of main story quest, they have admitted to it. It's filler. We all know it's filler. We're gonna have to take the L in the story on this one. They're gonna do a little bit of character building, world building, and that's as far as it goes. It is what it is. We're gonna have to take the L here, and this applies to all gacha games as well. Like, filler is just a part of it. Wuwa is doing a great job at minimizing the filler, where everything feels like it's still tied to the main story quest, but there is still filler. This is gonna happen to you regardless of the title, because of just how long it takes from one region to another. And also, well, world building is important, believe it or not.
difficulty set to very
It can be annoying to some of us casuals, but
is that I would still make guides on easy content, but in reality, when content is this easy, nobody is interested in watching a guide on things like this.
He's projecting. See, you think everybody's as good as you. And no, I'm pretty sure, bro, I have no idea what Haniel does. I have her at A6. I went to Pridlin, got the build and everything. I still don't know how she's supposed to work. I'm going the simple Genshin route. I'll just ult and use the E and switch. That's it. That's all I do. I'm pretty sure that should be enough. And Sakiri too. Like, I just ult and E and I disappear. That should be fine. For example, this guy, the guy he has on Adler, I think it was his name. When you E, you cannot switch immediately. You have to wait for the E to click before you get the shield, I'm assuming. And he has to be on field for that. And so that's important, for example. That's something I discovered. I'm not too sure, though. Maybe I'm just tripping. So really, the game can be simple, but the reality is not everybody is as good as you. For me, it takes time. Like, for me, I don't do much research. I like to discover things. And sometimes if, let's just say, you can make my research easy. For example, Rexland, he does this character for idiots. He's talking about me. I'm the target audience, and I appreciate him for it. Yes, I'm an idiot there, sensei. Teach me. You're the teacher. Teach. So yeah, I think that's too much projection there, man.
I really felt this when I covered GFL2, and I'm sad to say it's the same feeling here with Beyond the Rails just being way too easy for an in-game combat mode.
I haven't really beaten it yet. See, it's easy for you, it's not easy for me. Yeah, and I'm part of the casual majority. Like, we don't necessarily care that much, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're just taking our time. I'm still in the module. I'm still leveling modules and shit. I did the 7 because I had to for hunter rewards and stuff, but the rest I haven't really interacted with post game as much, and I don't feel like I want to. I want to feel like I got my teams. I think I'm as good as possible. Only then will I approach post game content. Like, I don't have to rush it. It's fine, because the moment I do my dailies and everything I need to do, I'll log into Withering Waves, and as soon as I'm done with that, I'll probably go play The Witcher 3 again, or play some Mortal Kombat or something. What the hell, babe? Why would I keep pushing more into a game that wants me to be a casual in my approach towards it? Like, duh. Like, I'll do it when the post game is gonna be, you know, I'm ready for it. And also, it gives me more things to look forward to in the game. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm working at this so that one day I can clear Beyond the Rails easier. You know what I mean? I don't like to sweat into things that don't necessarily want you to sweat for.
And the unfortunate reality is, I don't see this improving for quite a while. Next on this list, we have to talk about the in-game loop, which ultimately is spending about 30 seconds to a minute every day, using your stamina on upgrade materials for your characters.
Oh, it is super fast. We have to admit that the enemies die so fast, it's not even funny.
And then the true playing portion of the in-game, which is going to be the majority of time you play the game besides updates, is going to be Pink Paul's Heist and City Stamina usage. Pink Paul's Heist.
The city stamina is very easy, especially if you have like Cremosa. Jesus, it's super easy. I do it in like 20 minutes. And that's 700. It's all gone. It's super easy. If you need Daffodil and Lacrimosa.
My personal opinion is one of the worst in-game modes I have ever seen in a game like this. It is pretty much the same path every time with the same enemy.
They have to work on that. 100%. For sure. For sure. This is a valid complaint. They have to fix Pink Paul Heist. The premise and the foundation is very, very good. I like Pink Paul Heist as a concept, but it can definitely feel repetitive. 100%. This is definitely something you just turn off your brain as as you listen to something, you alt tab out of something, maybe this video, and you do pink paw heist because you know it's automatic. It's so stupid. Sometimes it can be interesting when you find some cards, because I still haven't managed to open the big vaults. I haven't managed to do that yet. I'm probably gonna have to do some research. Again, I don't like to do that type of research because what am I gonna discover in this thing that I have to do every single day? You know what I mean? So I leave a little sense of wonder, which makes my playtime more enjoyable in terms of I have to interact with, let's call it a spade, a piss poor life service model, because it is. We all know these live service games, their live service model, there may be good games, but their live service model leaves a lot to be desired.
And it gets old super quick because it's not like what I want in a roguelite mode where it's just like different enemies every time, different bosses.
Yeah, the only things that changes is if you find the card for this one door, you look for the door. You know what I mean? Which can be a little fun sometimes. There's that sense of urgency also with time, especially when time is running out and you haven't found the door yet. It's like, well, fuck, what do I choose? I have the choice to make. Do I get the door and then hopefully I can find a teleporter around? Or should I just already start looking for the teleporter? Because if I find the door and I don't have a teleporter, well, all that will be for nothing. I think that can be sometimes pretty fun.
Different every time is that, well, the items on the floor are different, which means some runs you can be doing the path that you deemed optimal, but it's going to be giving you way less fawns than doing the same run on the next one, which ultimately just means that you're going to be doing this more than you would like. And it's just
yeah,
like,
I just try to get 100k each run.
Super underwhelming. This game mode needs more updates. It needs more mini bosses. It just needs more randomness. But what it is just running the same optimal route.
Sure, it definitely needs more randomness. I think they should just create more areas and maybe switch it around. That could be fun. Maybe teleport you to like an anomaly realm where they pick a part on the map at random and you just adapt. That could be fun.
Time and hoping that the loot is good. Super underwhelming, and the longer the game is out, the more people will feel this way because you can't skip on those fawns. This is something that is going to be mandatory for everyone to do.
Not really. To be honest, not really. Like, it's enticing enough where you want to get the hunter stuff, but the fact is you can do it just through shop owner, like I said, like Chromosa Daffodil. And I'm pretty sure there's other hacks as well, like simpler ways to use city stamina. That's more than enough. You can easily get the things from the shop just by doing the city stamina. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And I notice it can be decent, you know, especially if you're an alt-tabber like myself, which I think a lot of us are as we play these gacha games, especially every single day. You're not going to want to lock in every single day in a stupid live service gacha game and with their live service model, be specific. But you're just going to alt-tab, and I feel like it just gives you a little more stuff to do as you alt-tab around, and that's kind of what these games are for when it comes to their live service model, man. Like, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but this has been the issue since Genshin Impact. WUWA is no different. SSR is no different. Shit, SSR, you can autoplay. I wanted you to think about that for a second. I remember in Tower of Fantasy, you can skip doing the actual activity and just get the rewards. I want you to think about that too.
And even though when you're really, really grinding, you can burn this out in about 40 minutes, you know, sometimes you're unlucky and this takes over an hour. And even though it's only an hour every 2 weeks, that's going to add up and it's just going to make you burnt out. I already have a lot of friends who are still playing this game who don't even do this, and they're totally fine just spending money on fawns so they don't have to do this, which is crazy in my opinion.
Well, those are a very different type of players. Like, spenders are just built different. But for someone like myself, I didn't do it at first until there was an incentive, which is the new limited banners. At the start of the game, I didn't do, I think Pitfall Heist once or twice. I think it was fun. Stamina, I didn't even know what to do. The city stamina, I saw the way you're supposed to do it and how long it takes. I was like, nah, evil has won. I'm not doing that shit. What is it for? Fawns? What the fuck are those for? You know what? Fuck it. I still managed to get the stuff from the shop anyway just by playing the game. Well, I'm not buying properties. I'm not interested in buying more properties. I have an apartment. I have a small house. The fuck else do you want? I'm good. So I have a car. I have a motorbike. Like, I'm fine. But the one thing that has definitely made me lock in and really, really appreciate the font system is definitely the events in which you can get the Draco bike, the new MC skin, the Porch collab. That was shocking. I feel like nothing has shocked the player base of NTE more than the Porch collab where you can use fawns in the banner. That was huge. That was huge. I feel like that has made the fawns value stonks go high for the player base. And that's something I think is a positive, because now you get to do more in the game and be rewarded for it. a simple way, and you can guarantee yourself the items. It's not RNG or something like the gear system. No, you can actually guarantee those things if you have enough funds. That's pretty good.
The other in-game is using your city stamina, and honestly, I only do PvP racing since it's the best way to burn the stamina, because you are burning 40 of it for a little bit less than 2 minutes every race if you're winning. And the problems with the racing is, well, if you don't have the Porsche from the collab, you are completely cooked, because pretty much every single race is for Porsches once you get a little bit ranked up. And sometimes the lag makes it impossible to race when it's really down to the wire.
Just do the coffee one.
I didn't think the majority of my playtime in NTE would be car races. If I wanted to do that, I just played like Mario Kart World. There are, of course, other ways to burn your city stamina besides the Porsche races. But, like, for example, the last 2 weeks, we had the Fighting Championship event, which I used a lot of my city stamina on to get all of the rewards for that game mode, which had people AFKing so they could get their rewards. And it just makes me, as someone who is actively playing the game, not having fun, because some of the matches, all 3 of the other players were AFK, and I'm just sitting there just spamming attacks,
rolling
trying
around
to get it over with.
Yeah, it's an alt-tab activity. I'll be honest, like, shouts out to alt-tabbers. We all know that's the best approach to playing these games, man. Especially the live service model part of it. But when it's story time, I lock in. I'm not gonna alt-tab or nothing. I lock in. But when it's not, I just have to do my dailies and stuff. Oh, I need to have something on YouTube playing, or music or something. I just do them real quick. You know what I'm saying? Am I the only one? I don't think I'm the only one.
And this is just like not fun for me. I would have been really excited if there were things that felt like Mario Party, like mini games added, or like Fall Guys. I really did enjoy playing Fall Guys a lot, and I was hoping that these kind of mini games would be that, but instead they're just pretty undercooked, and I just don't understand why I would do this over, say, playing Fall Guys.
Yeah, they do have to speed it, to step their game up in terms of polish, and where it feels like there's a lot more effort to the activities and certain things within the game, graphic wise, etc., interactions, even the story and certain cutscenes. They really have to step their game up there. 100%.
So combat is boring, in-game Fawn's grind is boring. What else is in the game? Well, the story this time around, it was just too much.
Okay, so far I'm hearing to you. I don't think you can say this in a broader sense, because the combat is fine. I think the combat is fine. It's not the best. I'd argue like the combat is not the best for a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? But the combat has solid foundation, and as they introduce new mechanics and new characters that interact with those mechanics, the better the game will be. It's not that hard.
For me, Fuzzy Sheep made it out of cotton candy, bro. I am too old for that. If you're going to tell a tabletop gaming story, I want it to be inspired by, well, tabletop gaming. I want to feel like I am in the Curse of Strahd, the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, a real story that feels like it's a D&D module. Instead, I got combat where the enemies don't attack back and get stuck outside the battle area. That isn't to say the areas aren't beautiful. The game is a visual masterpiece. But ultimately, I play games for, well, gameplay and great storytelling. And that is why I've been playing Deltarune lately, which is a true masterpiece. I just started Chapter 3, and that game has truly revitalized my love for gaming.
Okay, so what's Deltarune? So Deltarune is for Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. So it's a 2D game. It's not a gacha game, right? No, Deltarune is not a gacha game. There's your answer.
I'm going to talk about being a YouTuber and how that is another reason why I'm quitting NTE. Sometimes I play games longer than I should because I want my channel to keep growing, plus there's just not a new game to cover yet. And this is what made me play Girls Frontline 2 longer than I should have. I'm at the same crossroads with Neverness to Everness. I only played this game for the past couple of weeks because I'm scared to not have another game to cover on the channel, but I think it's better to go on break than force myself to make videos for a game that is boring to me. Luckily, though, there are a bunch of games I'm interested in covering coming up soon, like Honkai Nexus Anima, Cookie Run Crumble, Chasing Kaleido Rider, and the list just goes on and on. I'm so excited for the future of anime mobile gaming, and I'm so fortunate to have so many subscribers who support me as we see how truly peak this genre truly is. And more importantly, I'm fortunate to have supporters who understand I will most likely quit that next anime mobile game when I'm bored of it for the next.
That's kind of what we do. You know, when you're tired of a video game, you drop the video game and move to the next one. Yeah, you don't marry these games. All right, you You play them for as much as you can while you can still absorb enjoyment from them, and you drop them the moment they stop being enjoyable. And sometimes just a break can help you. Like you said earlier, you just take a break and then you can come back later when there's like a new big update or something like that.
Also, I'm just sick of NTE having quality of life and characters locked behind tubes. That really sucks. It feels like
That's every gacha game, man. Like, who's gonna tell them?
every character has had that. So yeah, see,
No, the way they did Shinku, I'm with you there. Oh, the fact that her kit only works well when you have to have E2 and she's very clunky when you don't. Oh yeah, that hell 100% cook them. But for the rest of the roster, you don't necessarily need them. And the more unlocks you have, the more qualities of life you unlock for the character or DPS, your choice, or something, the beauty of the NTE. But typically you will notice whether it's Genshin, Wu, or something like that, E1 typically is a quality of life where it makes the character's kit and rotation always feel smoother. And that's just something they do. And well, I'm sorry to inform you, but even the games you kind of praised earlier, well, they do the same thing too.
guys, on the next game, which is probably going to be Cookie Run Crumble. Let me know in the comments if you're
I think he
excited for
even dropped
Cookie Run
Withering Waves as
Crumble
well.
2. Peace out.
Yeah, I think he's simply just a flipper type of gamer. You know what I'm saying? He just likes to flip around games. As soon as he takes in as much enjoyment as he can from a game. Here's the thing: you strike me as someone who doesn't appreciate the life service model of these gacha games. You already admitted to it, and that's fine. That's totally fine. However, you're speaking in a sense of a broader way, which could, ruffle some feathers. But I did catch the fact that you are saying to me, which some people may not, because at the start of the video you didn't necessarily say that. I think it's a very important disclaimer as to why, or because it comes off as like you're hating on the game itself, when the reality is the very same complaints you had can be applied to the other titles you compared it to. They all share the same complaints you had for this one game, and so players may feel targeted, and hence why we see here the dislike ratio is as high as it is. All in all, I think your sentiments are valid. This is something I think all of us have felt at one point. The only difference between us is, for me, I tried a different approach towards these games where I managed to tolerate this system way longer than you, for example. Someone who strikes me as somewhat of an avid gamer who really wants their game time to be very enjoyable, who doesn't necessarily appreciate slop, because I can appreciate slop. I can appreciate slop tubers, and I can appreciate doing slop gaming. I'm just doing things with my hand. I just watch my characters do things as I listen to something, and that's it, like a full ADHD mode. Like the game literally is like it's the thing I have to do with my hands for ADHD or something like that. That's basically it. And that's, I feel like, a lot of players, especially within the gacha space, and you don't happen to be one of us, and that's totally fine. But again, like I said, people may have an issue with the way the framing you had for the video, not more so the sentiment you expressed. So yeah, there it is, man. What do you guys think? Do you guys feel somewhat of a similar sentiment? How do you guys go about navigating and disciplining yourself in your approach within the gacha games? I really would like to hear what you guys have to say. Share some tactics and tips and how best to approach and keep squeezing enjoyment of these live service games, because they're still good games, and when there's content, they do deliver. But the repetitive aspects of them can be very annoying at times. They spiced it up a little bit in NTE with the stamina and giving you incentive for that daily stamina. City stamina, but still, the actual activity isn't, oh, I can't wait to do that. It's like, well, I guess I gotta do that. All right, YouTube, find something. All right, that's it. I don't know. That's just me though. But again, I would love to hear from you guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Peace in you.